Oh, I really like it how we can just work at our own pace at home. We can take some notes if we want to, and then when we come back into the classroom, we can just do a warm-up activity to make sure we fully understand it, and then we can go back and do some practical learning inside the classroom.
What I love about flipped learning is that I learn all the basic stuff at home, then as soon as I come into class, I can learn more in-depth stuff, more practical, and then just all round have a better understanding on the topic.
Flipped learning allows me to have the knowledge I need to be able to ask the right questions in class and come in and make the most out of the lesson.
What I like about flipped learning is how it's self-paced and you can always refer back to the videos if you ever need it.
The reason I really love flipped learning is I get to work at my own pace, and I also get the disposal of a teacher when I'm trying to do questions that I don't understand. We also have an amazing flexible classroom, so I get to work on whiteboard tables, and it's really nice to get to work at my own pace.
Something that I like about the Flip Mastery is that we get to watch videos at home. So instead of listening to the teacher for 40 minutes, it all gets summed up in a 5 to 10 minute video.
What I like about Flip Learning is that I have the opportunity to revise whenever I'd like.
FLIP is the acronym for Flexible Environments, Learning Culture, Intentional Content, Professional Educator. The movement started in 2007 by two rural Colorado chemistry teachers, Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams, who recorded lectures, demonstrations and slide presentations and put them on YouTube for students who had to leave class early for travel to access later. Their 2012 publication, Flip Your Classroom, Reach Every Student in Every Class Every Day, promotes a step away from the sage on stage, with information transfer occurring in the student's home and class time, then being available for students to practice and deepen their understanding with teacher support.
Yeah, I think I've been flipping my classroom for about 7 years now, and the reason I do it is to make the learning more learner-centred. So for me, learner-centred is 5 things. Number 1, it's about differentiation. It allows me to differentiate the instruction. Second one is it's about building relationships with students. It frees up time for me to spend with every student. Next is about giving students choice and control over their learning. And then it's about active learning, having students do active things in the classroom. And the last one that's important is about collaboration, students working together. Firstly, be clear on why you're doing it. And the main reason is to spend more time in class doing active collaborative tasks. So to do that, students need to interact with the new knowledge at home by themselves, the easy stuff. And that could be videos, but it could also be reading from the textbook. It could be an interactive online. If you're making videos, a simple PowerPoint with a voiceover is really all you want. That's a great place to start. And the critical point though is, what are you going to do to practice and deepen that knowledge in class with active collaborative tasks? One of the challenges might be related to technology. Students might not have a computer or internet at home. So if that's the case, you might give them a reading from the textbook instead of a video. That's totally fine. The other challenge is to do with student compliance with homework. The way to get around that is to explain to them why it's so important, to engage the parents early in the year, make the homework desirable and easy enough to do, not too much, and then obviously follow it up like you would with any homework.
At the start of my career, I realised that I spent too much time in the front of the classroom. I spend about 70 to 90% of my time in the classroom, which means that the students were passive in their learning. I wanted students to teach themselves so they could free up class time to learn deeper. I actually have more time now to teach than I ever have. Challenges. The first 3 or 4 weeks can be a bit tricky as student learns to use Cornell notes, and sometimes parents push back thinking that the child has got too much homework until the student gets the hang of note-taking. I've placed a video on the OneNote for students to watch with their parents, and this has really got the parents on board now and they understand the process. Increasing engagement is the first step to improving disposition. And students really enjoy the videos I make for them, and they seem to feel that I'm really working hard for them, and they in turn work harder in appreciation. Their motivation to move up increases and they really love it. The highlight of my career is that I've actually got some other teachers on board to do the flipped classroom, and I'm mentoring them now.
I'm new to flipped learning and been teaching for quite a few years now. And it is great to explore the pedagogy of flipped learning, and having a mentor to doing the walkthroughs really helps with my confidence. Flipped learning wasn't much of a part of my teacher training, as it is very different from traditional ways of teaching. Last year I had only one class with Flip, and having a mentor, it's really great help, because what we do is peer observations, and then we address area of concern and discuss strategies. And this year all my classes are using Flip.
When would I use it? Well, it depends on what part of the learning cycle it's in. It's the part when students are learning new content, but it also could be revision prior to assessment as well. So how good do the videos need to be? The videos do not need to be masterpieces. It's about diminishing returns. You want to make a video that communicates the content in a way that's simple enough for the students to understand and learn from. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Keep it simple, get it done. If you can take one thing away from this, it's that flipped learning frees up class time for active, collaborative learning tasks.
Flipped classrooms enable a learner-centred pedagogy. Students are better able to achieve deeper learning outcomes as more time exists for activities that foster active, constructive and interactive engagement modes. These 4 modes of engagement are described by Chi and Wiley in the ICAP framework, linking cognitive engagement to active learning outcomes. Passive is receiving knowledge, listening to a lecture and being able to recall information. Active is manipulating knowledge, taking notes, being able to apply knowledge to similar contexts. Constructive is generating knowledge, comparing and contrasting information, and being able to transfer knowledge or procedures. And interactive is dialoguing, discussing with peers, being able to co-create knowledge. These 3 questions can be used by all educators to guide a reflection on how flipped classrooms strengthen student engagement, disposition and outcomes. Visit the STEM Hub for Schools for further resources to help transform secondary mathematics.